What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to another edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Kevin, Matt, what's up, fellas?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Looking forward to another great week here on the Dog Pound, covering a big win there in uh, Lexington against the Kentucky Wildcats there. Tough win, guys. Tough win. We knew it was going to be hard going up there playing in that cold, but we got the dub, and that's all that matters, right?
Right. Yep. We've come out of there with no injuries. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Kirby got a question about going forward on the 4th and 1. What did you guys take away from that play there on 4th and 1 on the goal line? Matt?
Go ahead, Matt.
So for me, I think it's as simple as this. You got a hot running back, you use the hot running back. If you're going to do a run play, that's fine. My mindset is if you have a hot hand that day, if it's a receiver, if it's the quarterback, if it's whoever the player is a hot hand, give them the ball, give that playmaker them the ball for that day. And it was McIntosh that day. And so to me, he should have got the ball. I think, because he had done the same thing that happened to the other player. Yeah. But I think he was the one, he should have called his number. I think he seemed to see the field better, had running with a purpose, and I would like to see that better. But it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Kevin, what was your takeaway? I mean, you're an advocate of don't leave points on the field. I hear you say that all the time. What was your takeaway from that? Did you feel like that we should have got the points, or do you think that he made the right decision?
I understand why he did it. I just don't agree with it. Like you said, I say if you're down there where you can get points, you take points, especially in the SEC play. You don't leave points on the field. We've seen that time and time again come back and bite us over and over. And I think that not doing that, letting them get that stop is what gave them a little bit of momentum swing to enable them to drive down that field and get that touchdown. I believe if we had just kicked the field goal, I think opportunity would have presented itself again because we would have knocked some of the wind out of their sails by getting those 3 points, going up 19-0 at that point, and we probably would have come out, kicked it off, got a stop, and gotten the ball back and able to drive down and get another touchdown. But like Matt said, it is what it is. We came out with the win, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, totally.
And to Kevin's point is when we play those teams, you watch those drives were eating up time. Every one of them were eating up time. And so to Kevin's point, you take the points, you make it a 3-score game, and then they start doing things they wouldn't normally do, which is pass the ball more or make longer deep plays, which opens up opportunities for turnovers or incomplete passes. So to Kevin's point, that's not a bad strategy. Take the points, make a 3-point game, or three possession game and really put the pressure on that way. And like I said, take the wind out of their sails and see what happens to them.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Well, I know I mentioned Kirby earlier about him getting questioned about the play call. So I pulled up his video from where he was questioned about that decision, and he was pretty snippy. So I thought it'd be pretty interesting to play back for you guys.
Time before you decided to go forward on fourth and goal there, the quarter ended. Was there a lot of discussion back and forth between the box and stuff about what you wanted to do there? Did we take the three or do we go for it here, or was it a quick decision?
That's my decision.
I know whose it is. I was just wondering, arriving at it, was it just right away, let's go for it here?
That's really relative to us. Like, we talk about things on the headphones every play. That just gave us more time to talk about it, but I don't have to share with you what was said, do I?
No,
I didn't
you
think
don't
so.
have to. I'd love for you to.
What happens on the headphones stays on the headphones, Chip. Sorry you're not privy to those. Y'all start paying a lot of money, y'all might get some access on those headphones. But that was a decision that was made by me, and I wanted to show confidence in our players. And if I had a chance to go out there and do it again today, I'm going to go over there and say we're going to do it again, because that's what I believe in. That decision was made 15 years ago on philosophy.
Yeah, he was pretty chippy there. Was not taking anything off of the press. It almost seems like he knew that question was coming. He's like, here we go, and he got fired up over it. But thought it was pretty interesting, his response there. So guys, I forgot to play the Kentucky highlights. So let's do that. Let's kick it off right and make sure that we cover all those highlights from the Kentucky game.
Flags here in the west end zone, just whipping wildly right now.
Here's the approach by Pod, and we are underway. Levis, shotgun snap, tosses it to Rodriguez to the near side, and Georgia eats him up at the 3. Rodriguez back in the game in the backfield for the Cats. Snap it to him, give it to Rodriguez, breaks one tackle. He can't break another. Munden again. And Dumas Johnson on the stop of Chris Rodriguez.
Another smart decision to tuck it, get what you can get to the middle of the field.
27-yard try. Pod kicks it through. 27-yard field goal is good. And Georgia leads our game here by a score of 3-0. Snap it back to Levis. Wants to throw. Pressure from the edge. He'll go down with a sack of Michael Williams. Just bear hugged Levis. Sack number 40 of the year. The big third down for Georgia here early in the first half. Levis throws to the end zone, picked off by Ringo, runs into the end zone. Now he's going to return it. Ringo's still on his feet all the way out to almost midfield. They wrap him up at the 47. Georgia will try a field goal here for the second time in the red zone. Pod puts it up and through on the 24-yard try. That's another good kick. Dogs lead it now 6-0 with 3:40 to go in the half. Handoff McIntosh. Got a block from Bauer. That was a pancake. McIntosh breaks the tackle at the 40. Still on his feet, 50 to the Kentucky 40. Drags the man down to the 30. Bennett will kneel down between the 27 and the 28. A 38-yard try. There's the snap, the hold. The kick is in the air towards the uprights, and it is good. They threw a smoke route up to the left, and we just plow him under. And as soon as he caught that ball at the 5, we just drilled him at the 5. McIntosh in the backfield, 2 tight end formation. Give it to McIntosh. Big hole, left guard. 8 yards to the end zone. Touchdown.
Boy, Xavier Truss, Broderick Jones, just making blue jerseys fly all over the place.
Levis will throw, caught between the hash marks. Brown at the 2 into the end zone, touchdown. Here comes pressure. He steps up in the pocket. Will get the sack. Bullard. Javon Bullard. And fake it to Edwards. Bennett's going to keep it. Rolls to the right. 25-30 sideline. And he casually steps out of bounds.
Never complain about a victory. We talk about it all the time. You go on the road in the SEC, it is never an easy task. Good job by the Dogs. Notch another W up there and undefeated once again.
Yeah, so you saw that post there at the end, 8-0 for the second time in a row here. Only the third team in SEC history to go 8-0 in the SEC in back-to-back seasons. So, Matt, I think you talk about it all the time that we need to be thankful for the time that we're living in right now. These are the good old days. We are living in the best times of Georgia football right now, and we need to soak it in. I think you said that last year, and I couldn't agree more with you. So, pretty good numbers there for the Georgia offense: 363 yards, 247 rushing yards. Kenny McIntosh has had one heck of a game, probably his career game there last week. And then, of course, we had 5 tackles for loss, and our tackle leader was Smile Munden. He's just showing up and showing out each week there. So, what were some takeaways that you guys had from the game? What's some things that you saw that you were impressed with, that we were improving on, and some things that you feel like that we need to keep working on going forward into the postseason? Kevin?
Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm still harping on this defense, man. It's still impressing me. That is my go-to thing each and every week. If you listen to this show enough, you know that is my thing. My resilient defense. These guys only gave up 6 points in this game, and if you go back and look, Kentucky had the ball for a long time. These were long, methodical drives, and they never gave up. They never really caved under the pressure and gave up a big play. They had that one drive where they, of course, that's what I was speaking of earlier, is they kind of shifted the momentum back Kentucky's way and let them drive down the field and score the 6 points. But overall, as a defense, these guys get out, they ball out, they hustle, they get after the quarterback. And these are young guys. A lot of experience was lost last year. We've talked about it multiple occasions. It's hard to replace experience that we lost. And these guys have come in and filled that gap amazingly. That's why I dubbed them the resilient defense. Because these are just a young group of guys who want to live up to that Georgia legacy, to show what they're made of, to come in and fill those voids that were lost last year. That's my biggest takeaway from this game. It could have got away from us, because the offense did not put up a bunch of points this game. But like I said last week, it's either the offense or defense. They step up and help the other side out. And this game was the defense. It kept them in this game.
Matt?
Yes, I guess the pros for me are that we're really starting to see the run game come to a lot more solid practice every game we're seeing. They're dedicating themselves to running the ball more efficiently than we've seen early in the season, which is great. Why that's happening now, I don't know. Maybe because the offensive line is finally gelling together with getting used to those different ins and outs. Because they're always changing out offensive linemen there. You see they're running about 7 guys. Not running just 5. They're running the 7 to 8 guys sometimes during a game, playing in and out of the offense. So maybe it's just the running game has really gotten there. One of the things I didn't really, one of the cons for me was, I'm always going to be on the offense. This just didn't seem like they were really being aggressive on the offensive front. It almost felt like they were just trying to get through the game. We went to a game where we were seeing a lot of downfield passing, getting Arian Smith in the game, spreading the field out, moving the ball around a lot. Seems like they were just trying to protect the players, all back to what Kevin said earlier in the game, keep people healthy and kind of just get through this game as we could, like methodically through the game. We just kind of hopefully just shut down their run game and just score some points and get out of there with a win. Didn't see a lot of excitement on offense, even when they came off on the sidelines for timeouts or whatever. I mean, like all the guys literally didn't take their hands out of their hand warmers. They were like instead of high fiving, they were doing headbutts and stuff. It just didn't seem like they were really there into the game. It could have been the weather. It could have been they already knew that we're in the SEC championship game. Maybe just be waiting to play Tech this week. I mean, who knows? It just didn't seem like they were all had a. I mean, I'm gonna put that on coaching. I'm not saying coaching need to motivate them, but I think the coaching was very vanilla. I think you texted at me, Brian, that they were very vanilla, very plain offensively, and I mean, so like to Kevin's point, the defense had to be showing out because the offense was just moving the ball down there, moving the ball down. It was almost like I think I texted you guys, it's like watching the Stanford game all over again.
Yeah,
we go 70 yards and then kick a field goal. 70 yards, kick a field goal. Because I mean, Bennett wasn't pressured. He had plenty of time to throw the ball around, but he was once again overthrowing people. Or he's overthrowing folks. Or we just had, or the defense played a good job. I mean, there's sometimes he overthrew Washington again. I mean, the biggest guy on the field and you're overthrowing him over his head. I don't understand that sometimes, especially when he's wide open. So, I mean, there's sometimes we miss opportunities to score touchdowns, but so did they. So it probably balances itself out.
Yeah, totally agree. So we're moving into the clean old-fashioned hate week, getting ready to take on the Maggots is what I call them. But before we get into that, I want to take a few moments to thank our seniors. This is a special group of guys going to be listed with the winningest class in Georgia history. Just unbelievable. And if we can get an SEC championship with these guys, it would be absolutely amazing. It would cap off just a stellar career for these guys to have a national championship, an SEC championship, go out, as the winningest class in Georgia history, which would be just absolutely amazing. So with that, I had a little senior video honoring the seniors I wanted to play, and then we'll jump into the Kentucky highlights shortly hereafter. Georgia Tech pregame shortly hereafter.
Well, they've been a part of a special run. There's been 20 to 25 of them that are just core guys. Love this university, have given so much time, commitment, toughness, and it comes to a close.
It's the last time stepping on the field with the guys that I came in with and the guys that came a year after me. Sanford Stadium, I mean, it's where all the memories have been built from my first kick to my last kick. It's been a great experience, being able to play with this team. And there's been tough times, but there's been great times at that, so.
We appreciate them seniors for everything they do. And I feel like the whole team is riding with the seniors Saturday. Most important thing is brotherhood. When you got brotherhood, you got each other's backs. And when you got each other's backs, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think for me, with this particular team, is just how they have continued to gel as the years gone along. When one goes down, they pick the other one up, and they feel the role of the person that's injured, and nobody blinks, man. They just keep chopping wood and making things happen. So definitely going to miss these guys. There's a lot of unnamed seniors that hopefully will get named that are part of the practice squad, and they'll get an opportunity to get on the field on Saturday. And I hope that our fans give each one of these guys a standing ovation because they dadgum, they deserve it. That is for sure. Well, guys, you have any thoughts on our seniors? Any words that you'd like to say before we move on to our Georgia Tech preview portion of the show?
Out of this group of seniors, which ones are you going to miss the most?
I think I'm gonna miss Nolan Smith, man. And I just hate it that he's missed this portion of the season due to an injury. Um, he is probably the biggest vocal leader on the team, in my opinion. But I'm also going to miss Chris Smith. I mean, he's just been there and been an integral part of our back end of our defense for so long, and so miss him too. But I think those would probably be the two biggest ones. And of course, I always will have a soft spot for old Stetson Bennett. So maybe he's got another year of eligibility, and we just don't know.
Oh my
yet.
God! Is it BYU?
Yeah.
He's got a Mormon year.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, let's run that game trailer, and we'll jump into this thing.
An open letter to our senior class. This place is so special because of you. During your journey, you made an impact that has left a mark. You elevated our standards to new heights.
And it's only because of y'all. You went to the scorecard. You went to the middle. You bought into it.
Yeah, those morning runs and heavy weights were not easy. No! But it's a lot more than all the hours of sweat and dedication that you put in. It's about the connections you made.
That's how we come together.
A bond you built with your brothers. You created a bond that extends way beyond the hedges. One that lasts a lifetime. On this special day, you get to suit up in that red and black for the last time on these sacred grounds. Walking out of that tunnel one more time to a loud crowd. Oh, Lord. Listening to that Georgia Bulldogs. Take a look around. This special place wouldn't be what it is without you. Writing history and creating memories that last a lifetime. Building a connection with not just your brothers, but your Bulldog family throughout. No matter where your journey takes you, you'll always be a
Cool, man. As you guys know, we're going to be playing the Maggots come Saturday. We'll be rolling into Sanford Stadium one last time. Get to see these seniors on the field and give them the honor and respect that they deserve for the hard work that they put in. College football is probably one of the hardest sports to play, and a lot of grind that goes into it. I think I saw George Pickens say that Georgia practice was a lot harder than any NFL practice he's been a part of so far. So that's saying something in my book. But so you guys know we always go over our mascots each week. This is Buzz, the Georgia Tech Maggot. The term yellow jacket has been used to refer to students and the various sport teams as early as the 1890s. Fans of Georgia Tech would often wear yellow jackets to sporting events in support of the early Georgia Tech teams. The the football teams lacking gold fabric for jerseys wore yellow jerseys, and John Heisman told the Atlanta Constitution that he wanted his teams to be referred to as the Yellow Jackets in October of 1905. And then in November of 1906, the Atlanta Journal portrayed a University of Georgia football player being attacked by a yellow jacket with the words, "Somebody's about to get stung," as the caption. This was the first time the Georgia Tech sports teams were referred to as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in print. So pretty good, interesting information there. I pulled off of the internet. It's amazing what you can get from Google. So the interim head coach is Brent Key. As you guys know, he played for Georgia Tech from 97 to 2000 as a right guard. He knows this rivalry well. Obviously, he wants to win this game. His coaching history is there from UCF through Alabama as an offensive line coach, and then moved to Georgia Tech in 2019. And is now the interim head coach. But obviously, I think as Matt alluded to earlier before we got into the show, is since the firing of Geoff, they have started playing better. Anyone doesn't know how to spell Jeff is obviously something's wrong. You spell it Geoff. But with that, they've been playing better, and beat North Carolina. We thought that was a really big win until tonight, and North Carolina just got knocked off by NC State. So obviously, it wasn't as big of a win as we thought it was. But let's get into the offense, Matt. Fill us in, man. I know that you're so excited to talk about the Georgia Tech offense, this prolific scoring machine and attack that we have got to be on defense of. Give us the words of wisdom.
So when I was given the pleasure of talking about the offense for Georgia Tech, I really about got sick to my stomach because this offense is just not that good. And it's not to really poo-poo on them, but it's just not very good. And so with that, so I got that's not the first slide. I get the first slide is we're going to go through their quarterbacks real fast. So they've gone through 4 quarterbacks so far this year. The first quarterback, starting quarterback, and the other quarterback, the backup, have both got injured. They're out. So the last couple of games, they have been going with this 2-man kind of quarterback system. Their starting quarterback technically is Zach Gibson. He is their starting quarterback. He's got about $2 under 400 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He was one of their key pieces to winning last week. And beating North Carolina. But like I said, nothing super fancy there. And I watched him play against Virginia. It was really unimpressive, and that's a really poor Virginia team defensively as well. So we'll see what happens. The guy we have on the screen here, I cannot pronounce his name. He's also their 4th-string quarterback, but he's their running quarterback. So when they're using that 2-quarterback system, they'll bring this guy in. I guess you say his name is Tyson. Is how you'd pronounce his first name. Last name, good luck. He doesn't have a lot of rushing yards, but they bring him in to help move the ball with a kind of like a wildcat kind of premise there as a running guy. He's also a Clemson transfer. I failed to mention that Zach Gibson, the starter we'll see, he's an Akron transfer. He spent 3 years in Akron as their starting quarterback. So he's got experience. He's just not super well equipped, and he'll be seeing a lot of the ground come Saturday. As we get into the running backs, running back is Hall here. I mean, he's a solid running back. Not a whole lot of yards. Like I said, the offense is just not built that way to be explosive, but he's got a little bit over 500 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Averages 4.5 yards a rush, which is still pretty respectable for any kind of team, no matter how poor your offense is. But he also is a receiver for them. He has the 2nd highest number in receptions. Now it's been not 2nd highest yard total, but 2nd high number of receptions with 28 yards. And he averages 16 yards. He has 165 yards receiving as well for them. As we get into the receivers, we got McCollum here, who's their leading receiver with 590 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he averages about 10 yards a catch. He does have some rushing yards as well, so they'll have him a few times rushing the ball. I think he's rushed the ball like about anywhere from 7 to 10 times. I can't completely remember that, but he's got about 50 yards rushing as well. So they'll get him on those in around runs and stuff as well to get him included in the run game. So they'll be looking out for him when he's running across the field on some of those motions. Carter is their next receiver. He's got 318 yards, 1 touchdown. He averages about 14 yards of a catch as well. He's also one of those kind of runners as well. Not a whole lot of running, but he's got about 36 yards rushing on the year also. That's pretty much the mainstay they have of their offense. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, it's really not impressive. I'll be honest with you, I think it's the 94th offensive team in the country. So not really anything to get super excited about. Doesn't mean they can't score points or it's a rivalry game. They may play all kinds of stuff, but it's the last game of the season. They're going to throw everything out of trick plays. Be looking for it. So we'll just see how it kind of goes out. This last slide I have here. Just want to give a call out to one of our locals. This is, I'm going to say Jakhari.
Yes, Jakhari.
Jakhari, they pronounce it Jakhari Williams. He is a quarterback for FPD here in Macon, and he just committed to Tech this past week. So I just want to give him a shout out. That's kind of cool that we have one of our Macon locals. He's a junior right now, so he's not to a class of 2024. But he's a majority of is a running quarterback. I've seen different composites. Some say he's 6'1". I think this thing here says he's 6'1.5". I've seen someone say he's 6'3", but mostly he's about 190 pounds. So he'll gain some more weight. But his main thing is he's a running quarterback. So it's kind of crazy that they don't have an offensive coach yet. I mean, they don't have an offensive or a head coach yet for the next year, but he's already committed with his skill set. So maybe they already know who the coach is going to be, and that's why he's committed to that upcoming staff. Who knows? So that's what I have on offense. To you, Kevin.
Good deal. Good deal. Kevin, jump right in, man. Take it.
That's pretty neat. I didn't know that we had a local boy heading to a big school like Tech. That's pretty neat. First off, this defense, just covered overall, is allowing an average of 27.6 points per game, and overall 401 yards of offense that they're allowing. It's 218 pass and 182 rush per game. So they are allowing people to move the ball quite easily down the field on them. The first player I wanted to highlight is Ayende Ely. He's a senior. He's 6'3", 233. He's a linebacker. It's number 2. He leads the team in tackles. It's 107 tackles combined and 52 solo tackles. He's got 3.5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. This linebacker is physical. He is all over the field. He's quick. He knows his lane that he needs to be in. He's he's a senior, so he's well experienced. He's good at reading the offense and knows where he needs to be and where the ball is going. Secondly is Charlie Thomas. He's also a senior. He's number 1. He's a linebacker, 6'2", 207. He's the second leading tackler on the team. He's got 104 overall and 67 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. This is a strong linebacking core that Georgia Tech has. I know that their numbers as far as the scores of the games that they've been in have not indicated that, but these are some good linebackers that Tech has. This is also another linebacker that is all over the field, knows the lane that he needs to be in. He gets after the ball. He likes to get in and be disruptive in the pass game. As you can see with the 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, he's going to get his hands in there, going to get physical with whoever has the ball. So you definitely listen for Charlie Thomas's name to be called in this game. Thirdly is Keon White, defensive lineman. He's got 51 combined tackles, 28 solo, and 7.5 sacks. And back up a little bit, is 6'5", 286, and is number 6. This is also a physical defensive lineman. He's going to get in there. He wants to get to the quarterback, wants to get his hands on the ball, get his hands on the guy that has the ball. As you can tell, it was 7.5 sacks. That's huge. I meant to go back and look where he stands nationwide as far as the sack total, but I mistakenly did not do that. But I just noticed that 7.5 sacks is big when you're talking about the span of the season for one player to have. Lastly is LaMiles Brooks, DB, number 20. He's a sophomore, 6'2", 192. This is a pretty good size defensive back. He's got 47 combined tackles, 31 solo, 3 interceptions, and 7 passes deflected. This is a guy that we got to be aware of when throwing the ball. He's going to get his hands in there. He's going to be physical with the receivers. You can't just throw a ball up and you got to be careful with those 50-50 balls because he's got hands. He's going to get in there and knock them away. or intercept the ball. So you got to be true with your throws. This goes back to something that Matt was talking about with Stetson with his overthrows and his accuracy. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but you can't test that with this guy right here because he's going to make you pay. Just something to keep your eye out for with LaMiles Brooks. And that's going to about cover the ones to highlight on the defensive side.
Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate that, fellas, bringing us up to speed on this prolific offense and defense that the Georgia Tech Maggots have to offer this week. Very concerned, as we should all be, going into clean, old-fashioned hate week. But we will make sure that we'll keep a watch out for those guys and see how many times they end up on their backs. So as we move forward, let's get into the Week 13 matchups. Let's do it. Our first game, Mr. Matt, Louisville versus Kentucky. Bring us up to speed on why you chose this game.
Well, I mean, I just think it's going to be that middle-of-the-road SEC, middle-of-the-road ACC team. And so I'm just hoping that our conference, and I know we don't people that much, but all we care about is Georgia. But I want our conference to be strong and have that strong ability as we get into the playoffs with our schedule stuff. So I'm going to pick Kentucky pulls out the win, even though they have played pretty poor here of recently. Hopefully that their defense will help stop this Louisville offense, and I think Kentucky can take it.
I like it. Kevin, what you think, bud?
I agree with Matt. I think that Kentucky's defense is going to step up huge. I mean, as we saw last week, they've got a defense that's formidable. Their issues, the offensive side, it's as funny as that sound. You got to reel in the offensive plays and make them connect. I think if they can do that, they have no problem pulling away in this game. I'm picking Kentucky to win in this one.
Yeah, me too. I like Kentucky. Let's see. Dad says Kentucky wins 24-20. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Tennessee and Vandy. Now, I put this one in there, so I'm going to take a few moments to explain why I believe that Vanderbilt is going to win this game. Vanderbilt has been playing hot lately. Knocked off Kentucky, knocked off Florida. Just completely surprised me that Florida lost that game. Tennessee has some major locker room issues going on, as we learned last night and throughout the week. I think there's been a total of 3 different fights in the Tennessee locker room. There's some major issues. The Tennessee defense that showed up against South Carolina is not the Tennessee defense that we saw all year long. Tennessee gave up 62 points, the most in college football history to an unranked team. Never been done before, and Tennessee is known for one more thing this season, and that is not the thing that you want to be known for. So I feel like this team is quit. They have nothing to play for, and because of that, Vandy's hot, and they've got bowl eligibility just right there at their fingertips. I think Vandy knocks them off in a close one. I'm going Vandy 27, Tennessee 24. Matt?
I would love for that to happen, but I just can't believe that even how bad their locker room is, no matter how bad they're losing the quarterback can be. I just think the receivers are better equipped. I just think that team's better than Vanderbilt is. I think it may be a close game for a while, almost kind of like the Missouri game was for Tennessee. But I think Tennessee pulls it out in the end. So I think they'll cover the 14 points.
Kevin?
Well, I have to agree with you, Brian. I think this is another team that Georgia has broken. They are dysfunctional, and they are disheartened because all their hopes and dreams have been flushed down the toilet of getting to the playoff because they are, back when they beat Alabama, the whole thing was, oh, we're going to see you again. We'll see you again. We'll see you again at SEC
on a
Championship.
neutral field. On a neutral field.
On a neutral field. And Georgia trashed that dream. And then South Carolina comes in and they are dysfunctional and totally embarrasses them at South Carolina. And Vanderbilt is riding the hot seat right now. They are flying high. They have, beat 2 SEC teams. And they're looking to trump that with another SEC win. And I think that they're going to go and this one is actually played at Vandy, not at Tennessee. So that's going to be in their favor. And Tennessee had this whole thing where they were going to checkerboard Vandy Stadium. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Vanderbilt fans are going to show up and be loud because obviously South Carolina learned something from what Georgia fans did. Be loud, and they're going to be loud and look to upset upset Tennessee. I've got Vanderbilt winning 32-24.
I like it. See, Hunter Ivy says in the past 10 games, 5 wins for Tennessee and 5 wins for Vandy. Vandy wins 31-21. Dad says, I hope so, but I think Tennessee's going to win at 27-17. And Ken Alon said, Tennessee can't play on the road. I like it. I like it a lot. A lot. All right, South Carolina at Clemson. Matt, what you got?
So South Carolina's riding high. They already had their Super Bowl. They will not have a follow-up game to what they had beforehand. Rattler will get back to his basics of throwing interceptions and throwing the ball in the dirt, and will not make those plays like he did last year against Tennessee. And Clemson will sneak their way into the playoff. So Clemson beats South Carolina by at least 10.
I like that, Kevin.
Well, I heard something in the last game that South Carolina played with Tennessee that Beamer told Rattler that he was our quarterback, calm down and be our quarterback. So I think that has done something to his psyche. And I think that he is going to come and ball out in this game. I really do. I think the only thing that Clemson has going for it is his defense. And I am picking South Carolina to win this game in a close one, 34-28.
Woo! Johnny Kaki says South Carolina 31-16. I like that. Ken Lalonde says Clemson 27-14. Wow. And Matt Emilio says Clemson wins this one 37-20. So we got a little split fence here trying to decide who's going to take this one. I can't decide either. It just depends on what Rattler shows up, right? Hunter Ivy says South Carolina with the upset, 38-17. I got to be honest with you. I'd love to see Clemson lose. They don't deserve to be in the college football playoff. I just not with the way they played all season. Dad says Clemson 31-17. So we are definitely split on who is going to win this game. So I'm not sure either. It just depends, like Kevin said, depends if Spencer Rattler shows up. If he shows up, plays like he did last week, they'll win. All right, Notre Dame's USC. Matt, what you got on this one?
I hope both of them lose. Is that possible? Here's my thing, and this is the thing that I can't. Y'all know me personally. I can't stand either one of these teams. Like, these are like in my top 5 of teams I hate the most. These two teams, because they get so much media press, no matter how good or how bad they are, and it just drives me insane. And so, ultimately, now we're looking forward to the future, which I know we should go game by game. I want the media to cut off the USC talk, and I want Notre Dame to beat them, so that they'll be out of the playoff. I'm not gonna worry about them either. I rather hear the Notre Dame is going to be good next year talk than to hear the UFC can win it now talk. So I'm going to pick Notre Dame for the upset over USC.
I like it, Kevin.
This one, I think that USC is got something to play for, and they're looking into the future about possibly getting to the playoff playoff four. I think that their benefit is that they're playing at USC. That will be a helpful factor, but they have a terrible, terrible defense, and that is one concerning factor for me. And it's the only thing that is a plus is the only real team, and neither one of these teams play anybody really, but the only thing that Notre Dame has played is Ohio State, and this was a tough one for me to pick. But I think that somehow, some way, USC comes out with the win. I've got them winning close, 42-38.
I like it. I like it. Let's see. John Akaki says Notre Dame beats USC 21-17. Matt Emilio says Notre Dame 17-10. Dad says 28-20. Notre Dame, and then Ken Alon says USC gets the win 34-24.
I just see this going bad if USC wins. Alabama is going to creep into the playoff hunt. Y'all realize that, right?
I know.
Not when Clemson beats South Carolina and TCU wins.
But if that doesn't happen,
they'll put in Ohio State and Michigan together like they did Georgia and Alabama last year before they put one of these teams before they put Alabama in. They'll put those two teams in before they put Alabama in. I'm not worried about Alabama.
But Alabama always has that pedigree where they love them. They love Alabama just like they love Notre Dame. That's what I worry about.
But they also love the Big Ten. They think the Big Ten is the best thing ever. They love them. They love me. That's a big deal to them. If it's a close game against those two, then no. This game right here, each team will have over 35 points because both these teams have zero defense.
Yeah.
They are trash. When Notre Dame allows you to score 35 points on them, you know you're trash.
Yep, I agree with all that. Hunter Ivy says USC is going to win 49-45.
Go,
I like it. All right, Michigan, Ohio State. Matt, what you got on this one, buddy?
Oh my gosh. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna pick Ohio State to rebound from last year. I think Michigan topped out too early. I think Michigan's on decline. I think they, like I said, they were had a great freshman year, and now their senior years they're not finishing the year very strong. They struggle wins each and every week. I think Ohio State struggled these last few weeks because they're looking only to this Michigan game. So I think at home, Ohio State beats Michigan pretty easily, honestly. Not because they're a great team. I just think Michigan was topped out week 3 in the season, and they've just kind of been playing the struggle bus the entire way through. So I'm going to say Ohio State for sure beats by 13 points.
Gotcha. Kevin, what you think, bud?
I totally agree with everything Matt just said on this one, all except for the score. I got it a close game. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to come right down to the wire, but I do have Ohio State winning 45-41.
Whoa.
Wow. I like it. Let's see. John Akaki says Michigan wants a rematch with UGA. They beat OSU 18-9. I don't think it's going to be that low of a scoring game unless there's snow or something, but I don't think there's any weather forecasted. I could be wrong. Oh, I hit the wrong slide. Ken Lalonde says, I want Michigan to win because if Georgia sees them in a playoff game, we stomp a mud hole in them. But OSU 31, Michigan 24. Dad says Ohio State wins 31-24. Matt Emilio says, it burns me to say it, but OSU wins 35-17. And then John Akaki threw something in about the Iron Bowl, and we weren't going to talk about it. But since you threw it in there, John, we will talk about it. He's got Auburn winning 27-23. He says that Alabama can't drive a Cadillac. I like it. Hunter Ivy says Michigan wins this one 45-41. I'm going to go Ohio State too. I think they win by 3. I think it's going to be a shootout, high-scoring game. I think they win by 3. All right, now we're on to the clean, old-fashioned hate. The Maggots versus the Dogs. Tell me what you got, Matt.
I think it's just a very simple plan. Is that we got to stop as a team. Just as offense, I guess, right? Stop turning the ball over, giving these teams like these lower grade teams chances to stay in the game. So for me, is mainly just not turning the ball over, controlling the ball, and scoring points each and every drive. I don't want to see Thorson kick the ball one time. Sorry, I'm a hate on the punter.
I agree with you. Kevin, what's your thoughts?
I think this is the game where the offense shows back up. This is where they come back out, and you see just that ease of moving down the field and the explosiveness, and you're wondering when the next scoring play is going to happen, based off of just the simple fact of how many yards per game Georgia Tech is giving up versus how many yards per game Georgia is accruing. I think this is going to be just a good beat down, similar to what it was last year. I've got Georgia winning this game huge, covering the spread 42-6.
I like it. Ken Lalonde says 34-6 Georgia. Matt Amelia says good guys win and a Maggot wrecking bloodbath 52-3. I like it. John Akaki says 44-7. Good scores. Dad says 44-10. That's a great score. Hunter Ivy says UGA wins huge 56-3. I like that too. So I guess you guys want to know what my prediction is going to be. I'm going 44-3.
I'll take that too. That's awesome.
Mine is 42. I didn't say that part.
44-3 Dogs. And I think Georgia Tech maybe get that field goal maybe late in the game. But I don't want to see Stetson Bennett after the first drive in the third quarter. I want to see somebody else. I'd love to see Carson Beck and Brock Vandegrift come out and score a few touchdowns and show us what they can do as well. Get them some in-game experience. Well, guys, this is typically the portion of the show where we talk about keys to the game, but we know I'm pretty confident that Georgia's going to win. I just want to know what you want to see out of this team this week as we play the Maggots. What you think, Kevin? What do you want to see out of the Georgia team versus what we've seen in the past?
I want to see them bring in Stetson bring his passing accuracy back in. I'm like Matt. He's been hyping on this for several weeks now that Bennett's been off his game. I want to see it get dialed back in and hit those wide open plays to Darnell and Brock. Quit overthrowing people. If we can do that, hit the big plays when they're needed, get those critical first downs. And move the ball methodically down the field, and you will see a run-up score like the 44-3 that you're predicting. And also, Hunter Ivy just touched on it. I was fixing to get to that. Is no turnovers, no dumb bonehead plays, no crazy throw your hands up at the line and knock the ball straight up in the air for a interception. Anything like that, just play clean football.
Matt?
My main thing I want to see this game, of course, I want us to win, but I want to see our seniors play their best game right now. I know it's their senior day; they're going to be represented. They're going to have their showcase today. I want to see those guys who are out there, like like this Stanson and McIntosh and guys like that, have their great solid days. They play the first half and they're done. And so they can get ready for the SEC championship game. But I want to see the seniors have their day in the sun. That's my main thing. I want to watch those guys really have their last home game, a really special one.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Ken Alon says, I'd like to see a complete game, all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And Dad says, no turnovers and no punts. Yeah, I like that too. As I said earlier, I really want to pay homage to our seniors and have them go out and just ball out. I really would like Todd Monken to just open up the offense and let Stetson just ball out. If he wants to throw a deep ball, throw a deep ball. Let's just go at it, and just have a really a fun time uh, for our last home game in Sanford Stadium. So looking forward to a great game. I think for me that what I don't want to see is any injuries. So if we can get out of the game injury free, that would be fantastic. Fantastic. Got one more comment here. Matt Emilio says a complete game from start to finish, total dominance, and a big confidence booster going into the game versus LSU the following week. Yep, totally agree with all of those statements. So, guys, looking forward to a great game. I want to go ahead and put it out there. We're going to have a SEC watch game. It's going to be at my house. I'll be putting out a post on that here shortly so that you guys can all sign up to come over and watch the game with us. Looks like the weather is going to be great. Low 70s for the day. And then that's the high. It's going to be like 69, I think, for the high. And then the low for that night was supposed to be 52. But, of course, it won't ever get to that by the time the game's over. But we'll grill out, have some
68
ribs.
and 55.
That'd be great. Great weather. Grill out. Have some great company, watch the game on the big screen, sit around a fire, and enjoy each other's company, and just be a great time with the Dog Pound here at my house. So I'll get that out so that everybody can attend. But any final words before we sign off tonight, guys?
No, well, come on out and listen to the Dos Equis man himself, John Akaki, tell some more of his famous stories.
Yep, absolutely, definitely can regale us on some great memories there. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, well let's hit that music and send this thing out right. If I can get my, here we go. So, guys, we're going to be going back up to Sanford. Going to be there tomorrow. Me and Dad will be screaming our heads off. One more time for the Dogs. Take it to the Maggots. Looking forward to seeing all you guys here for the SEC watch-along show. Dogs will be ready for the LSU Tigers. That is the same sure. But I appreciate everybody coming on tonight and enjoying our show. I'm Brian. Kevin, Matt, go Dogs!
Go Dogs!